Today, I'm going to take una go right deep inside the propaganda machine of La République du Cameroon. We tell una why they do what they do. We tell una what una don't see. And we tell una what they ahead for Pobia. All money place day. Una come well. Una come fine. This program it will be extremely educative for all our people them. This program now for inspire our people them. Now for give our people them hope. The most important thing now for make sure say we educate our people them on what they really happen. All right. So we're going to talk about the propaganda where Paul Biya don't turn into. And we're going to take when I go inside the second level of propaganda where they don't start for pushing for out there since yesterday. The story for today now mockery to the colonial, to the defeated, humiliated, disgraced colonial dictator of La République du Cameroon. So now join me well. Before we go for the, as always, I want to salute all our mommy then and our papa then, where they don't take the time for joining me this evening, for watch for ACN TV live, for Ground Zero. I want to salute all our prisoners of war, where they did for the concentration camps for La République du Cameroon. I want to salute all our refugees them, where they be scattered all across the globe. For all Ambazonians and where they day for other parts of the globe where they don't get small freedom for place where they day. Una good evening for all una. All our people then for China, for Hong Kong, for Malaysia, for Singapore, for other side for Australia, the one that we did for India. By the way, I just talked for some an Ambazonia way there for Afghanistan. Even for Afghanistan, Ambazonia is so they we know say now almost early morning for una, now almost Thursday for morning time for una for that side. I think that 3 o'clock for Thursday morning for una for that side for that part for Asia. We also salute all una, all the one that they did for that side for Persian Gulf, the hustlers them for that side. We salute una, the people them for Dubai. We cut cafe for all una. For all our people that did for Europe, mommy and papa them, brothers and sisters them. Una good evening oh. And then for people that they did for this side for North America, for some other parts for this side for Canada, na still morning time, and for some other part for so for Canada, na afternoon time. Na 3 o'clock for afternoon for this side for Toronto. Na 3 o'clock for Washington, D.C. Na 2 o'clock for that side for Atlanta. So the time for the whole world, it be totally different. And na 2 o'clock for that side for Texas. So we salute all una. Wherever you there, una say most Ambazonia for this side for North America, una still there for work. So una good afternoon for all una for workplace. We salute una. The story for today, it go over fine. Before I take una go for the drama we can open up the player. Before we take una enter inside the story we I want to bring up for all una. First, make we listen for the message with the leader for our war of independence, Dr. Ebacho. He put them outside there today for our people then. Una take a listen.
My fellow Ambazonians, yesterday we watched a desperate and defeated enemy mobilizing tanks to frighten Ambazonians. This bankrupt colonial outpost must be reminded that tanks don't fight wars. Propaganda does not win wars either. Ambazonia remains a graveyard for the last brutal colonial outpost designed to impose hardship over the first democracy in the continent. A few kilometers from the Eritrean capital lies a tank graveyard of thousands of Ethiopian tanks killed by the Eritrean liberators. In 1989, a brave patriot at Tiananmen Square demonstrated bravery when he stopped hundreds of tanks. Ambazonia means business. There will be no peace without justice, no peace under alien rule, and no peace with independence. Ambazonia is on a course to ending the nightmare imposed on it 60 years ago. Remain stubbornly defiant and unapologetically unyielding to both domestic and foreign pressures. Fellow Ambazonians, a few years ago we made it abundantly clear that those who plot, scheme, and enable the colonization of our homeland, and by their actions and omissions supporting the genocide on our people, have no space in life or in death in our country. Except where we cannot at the moment exercise power, their bodies will be exhumed and disposed in the sea. Below our soil cannot coexist General Ivo and Ikema. In the past days, we have learned of the passing of an exile enabler. The founder of Enwin was a traitor who worked for the enemy against his people. His body should be disposed of in the sea or buried in the land he paid allegiance to. The price for our freedom must be borne by all without exception. Let me also use this opportunity once more, warn those who use our struggle to harass our population, extort monies from families during burial. We will not allow you to impose further psychological pain on bereaved families. I call on the DDC Capo, whom I've appointed as our anti-kidnapping SAR, to double his effort in ensuring that the protection of our people and the arrest and persecution of these bandits harassing our population. Fellow Ambazonians, as I wrote a few days ago, the bravery demonstrated by our forces in the past weeks has rekindled our spirit of nationalism and determination. I once more advise our fighting men and women to respect the rules of war, show no mercy to living enemy forces, treat captured ones with humanity, and execute them after due process with dignity. We will use high-profile targets for exchange purposes. In the past week, no PT has fought well as a soldier. To have allowed himself to be manipulated by the corrupt militant cartel did disservice to Ambazonia. These criminals who have ordered the murder of our forces, embezzle millions, are thereby facilitating genocide, attack the integrity of those who have sacrificed for our land and lost their liberty. Engineered infighting for their temporal political profiling should never be given a platform to exploit soldiers to fail to arm, support, and encourage. All soldiers on the ground must distance themselves from this loose criminal cartel and focus on the defense of our homeland. Our forces will continue to provide, facilitate, and support the initiative of others in the spirit of the block by block. I welcome the rapprochement of General Capo and a unit of Bui warriors that was not involved in the massacre of our forces. This spirit should continue to enable us and the pain imposed on our people. Yesterday, an anonymous donor donated $29,000 to enable us proceed with the consolidation of our gains and oil the wheels of effective actions. We will remain focused on the strategy while building capacity to ensure that our gains are not rolled back by internal or external threats. God bless Ambazonia. A message from Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, President of the Ambazonia Governing Council.
All right. That one, the message that way, the leader of our war of independence, he put them out today for the Ambazonia people them. My fellow people, all we don't woke up yesterday and watch some drama with the colonial dictator of La République du Cameroon, the mad king for Etudi, Massapobia. We don't see the drama, we don't take him. He play him for the streets of the economic capital of La République du Cameroon for Douala. Yesterday, the Ambazonian people, they see him for social media, a convoy of tanks, war tanks, where poor beer, he don't carry him, he drive him through the streets of Douala. First, as the leader talk him, La République du Cameroon, they don't be defeated for Ambazonia. Poor beer don't lost the war. He call for grand national dialogue, for tell the world say he don't win the war, and the war don't finish, and he don't bring the whole nation together for the grand national dialogue. What happen with the grand national dialogue? What happen with the special status where Paul Biya talk say the war don't finish and he don't dialogue with the people for Ambazonia, where they call and say Northwest and Southwest, and he don't find out which the people they want them, and he don't give them something will be very specific to them, and he call and say special status. Not be na so tell una No be na so he tell the world. No be he tell the world. Say the war don't finish. He send a tanga and you go down inside Ambazonia. They talk for CRU TV. Say the war don't finish. The whole Grand National Dialogue. They say they don't identify the problems then with the people that they face them. And therefore they don't give them special status as a solution for those problems. Now so he tell the world. Now so he tell the people of La République du Cameroon. Now so he tell the people of Ambazonia. He tell them, say, he don't put in place effective decentralization. A process where they put them into law for 1996. Now for 2021, it talks say one can implement that process. And it talks say, they say, all of those programs, they come out now for the Grand National Dialogue as mechanisms, recommendations, and solutions for address the problems for which they call and say the Northwest and Southwest provinces or regions. Now so it can tell the world. It declared the war don't end because it don't grant special status. The war don't end because it didn't implement decentralization. Now so it tell the people. Right? So Wusa it come out. When you don't declare say you don't win war, you declare say you don't provide solutions. Wusa it come out now. For June of 2000 and for 22nd of June for 2021, Wusa you come out now with tanks where you roll them for that same part of the world, part of the country, right? You roll tanks into the occupied area. Not be you tell the world say you don't win the war. So how come Paul Biya now the roll the tanks? I want make all we just ask this moron. May all we ask this imbecile. May all we don't just ask this idiot. What did they call it? Say Paul Biya. If you talk say you don't win war, and you don't know what the people they want them, you don't solve their problem, you don't give them special status, the effective decentralization don't be accepted, right? You don't even create what they call and say regional parliament. Don't create regional parliament for look after the needs of the people. So who's tanks they come out again? Who's the tanks they come out then? Where you roll the tanks now into the same territory where you declare say you don't win war. When I watch this video, and then maybe we can make a mockery of this idiot, this moron. When I watch him.
Dan dari paso line. They were feeling down. They forget. I can't see them now when they carry them. Dan dari paso line. They were feeling down. they forget. I catch it, then now they carry them for back here.
Phobia. Let me say. Now the level of this. That the level of that the craziness is, that the level of craze this, that the level of craze this. Paul Biya never. I don't know whether this man now which kind of book he go learn himself. We don't know which kind of book he go learn him. My fellow Ambazonians, mu tell una something. If Paul Biya no know, then maybe the lessons from the Americans. Now in this. We'll put this one for down. We'll put them for up here. America, we are the biggest country for this world in terms of its power, its military power. In terms of its military power. And are the most powerful country. Not only for their military power, but in terms of their economy. They get the biggest economy for the whole world. For 2001, when Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, they carry out the terrorist activities, strike for New York. They attack the towers, and then they bring down aeroplane. George Bush, he be president. And he talk Peking George Bush, and he talk Papa George Bush, and he talk Peking George Bush. Now George Bush will be president for America. He talks in all the places them where they participate for carry out, where they plan those attacks and place where Osama bin Laden, he recruit those people for them for carry out attack for America. He declare war on those people them. He declare war for Iraq. He declare war for Afghanistan. Between 2001 and 2020, 19 years later, the American government, they want not been asked for the war for Iraq and the one for Afghanistan. Now in this, I don't put them on the front. Now an economic report that the Americans, they spend $6.4 billion. For Iraq, they spend $2 billion. They beget more than 500 tanks for Iraq. They still lost the war. They get the best fighter jets, the best drones, where they feel launch bombs them from air. They get the best soldiers. America still lost the war. After they don't spend $2 billion for Iraq. $2 trillion. They spent $2 trillion for Iraq. America still lost the war. The same for Afghanistan. They spend more than $2 trillion for Afghanistan. Now the record in this, we do our research. The war for Afghanistan, the United States spent $1.5 trillion for the war. They spent $500 billion just for secure certain interest for Afghanistan. They spent $87 billion for train the new Afghan military and police. They spent $24 billion for economic reconstruction. They spent $10 billion for fight illegal drugs. A total of $2.3 trillion. America still lost the war. They deploy 110,000 troops for Afghanistan. George Bush started Mr. Obama come. He can't continue. He put more troops, which they call and say the surge. He had an additional 40,000 troops for Afghanistan. With more tanks, more planes. Other 30 countries. Obama rallied 30 other countries where they supply troops for Afghanistan. And they bring their own tanks. 30 countries plus America add them on top. They still lost the war. They still lost the war. Pobia never see nothing. Nagiti Bobby won Pobia. You know go ever fit for win this kind of war. Italy say the American people they triumph. They triumph for Vietnam. They lost the Vietnam War. They go triumph for Iraq. They lost. They go triumph for Afghanistan. They lost. So who be Phobia? The most superior military for the entire planet. With all the money where they get them. With all the equipment where they get them. They get all kind of war planes. Where they fit do any kind of thing. They get more than 300,000 military people then. If the fit still lost all the war them for foreign countries, then what about a primitive people them like Pobia? What about a primitive backward dark countries them like Cameroon? First, they not even them. They didn't make the equipment. So the equipment they not even get them. Those equipment are borrowed equipment. Either those equipment they come out from Central Africa or they probably come out from Chad. Now borrowed equipment. Cameroon no get them. Equipment where they borrow them. Either France give them now through Chad. They just rush them. Now only for one reason. Now for can't do propaganda. Now for can't do propaganda because in the last few months, especially the last 2 weeks, the Ambazonian people don't kumkumize. They don't jam la République du Cameroon. They jam the B, jam their army, jam their police, jam their gendarmes. Ambazonian fighters for all the 13 states. They don't teach Cameroon, La République du Cameroon occupation military for Ambazonia. They don't teach them a lesson of hell. They take them, they turn them like small football. They play them up and down. Jam them. Poor Bia don't be so defeated, so disgraced, so humiliated. They not fit take them anymore. Poor Bia not fit take the disgrace anymore. This kunyam, this baboon, he not fit take the defeat anymore. This baboon way talk say they say go defeat the Ambazonia people them. He not fit handle the disgrace of the defeat from the Ambazonia people them. He not fit handle them. Because of the defeat. Because of that humiliation. Because of that embarrassment. Now we rush for go borrow tanks for can't do propaganda. Ambazonians, they not borrow those tanks. Now for una. They borrow those tanks. Now for roll them through the streets of La République du Cameroon. For show the citizens of La République du Cameroon. Say they still get control. Now show. Now propaganda. Now for proof to the citizens of La République du Cameroon. Say Paul Biya still get control. Say they get muscle. Say they get power. Because there are people that never see that kind of thing. And therefore they go respect and trust Paul Biya. Now propaganda. Now signs of desperation. Now signs of the defeat with the experience of Ambazonia. So now a tactic for you for save your face. Now a tactic for save their faces. Na a tactic of the Minister of their Defense, Betty Asomo. May they not carry shame. All this one, na manipulation, na propaganda for cover themselves from the defeat of the Ambazonia people them. For protect themselves from public and international humiliation. Because a small people with their bare hands, they don't teach them a lesson. A small people with nothing, they don't humiliate them in every shape and form. Na propaganda. Make the bringer. Now only taxi the bringer. May ask France. May they give war planes. No only tanks. No only 12 tanks. 12 tanks go cover now what location to Ambazonia? 12 tanks. It go cover now which place to Ambazonia? Only 12 tanks. For the size of Ambazonia. It's not enough, Pobia. Call Macron. Tell us that 12 tanks not be enough. Just like the other armored trucks that we be sending them. Who's are the day? Who's are all the armored trucks that we be sending from Ambazonia? Who's are the day? These tanks, they not be no different from those armored trucks. Instead, the tanks will be more vulnerable for Ambazonia. The Ambazonia land, it make these tanks to be more vulnerable. They go only roll those tanks now for the citizen, for frightening people. They go only drive them now for inside the big city them for frightening people. Now just a tactic for put fear for people their heart. Ambazonia don't pass that level. We don't pass level where people they fear. We don't pass level where you go can't intimidate people then because you drive a tank for parts of village. You drive a tank for parts of a town. Ambazonia, probably Ambazonia don't pass that level. Now a primitive tactic of war from an old baboon, from an old moron, from a man where his sense, he don't finish your inside. Now defeat. All these things when they see Ambazonians. We are not worry on ourselves. Now signs of total defeat and humiliation. Now a sign say all the things where they be one doing, they don't fail. And a sign say the Ambazonian resistance it be more stronger today than any other time. Now a sign say our forces they be more stronger, more lethal, more experienced, and more aggressive for their offensive campaign for end Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia. Now a sign. Now a sign of the bravery of our generals and our commanders for what they don't do for the Republic of Cameroon. So we call Pobia, bring more tanks. Bring more tanks. Bring it on. Bring it on, Pobia. Bring it on. We go still melt those tanks. We go send those tanks back into pieces. Just like all your armored trucks. We send them back for you into pieces. Those tanks that they do so, small hill, now all that, they don't tumble. When you just shoot gun, you bust one tire, the thing goes somersault. Enough you go through mud. And now the season this for Ambazonia. So now which kind of shake day? Enough you go through mud. It go tight. You'll go find an aeroplane, may you can't lift them up. this primitive, this primitive ancient baboons. Now failure. Alright? Now failure. So, my fellow people, there is nothing where any man need for worry about it. Now total defeat. Now defeat of a moron. This man are totally a moron. Alright? All the programs, they don't fail. Alright? But as we don't always tell now, the psychology of a dictator, as we don't always educate our people there, these people, no matter the pressure from the international community, Paul Biya go rather die than for ye for bow, than for ye for go she don't say, okay, make I go negotiate. Paul Biya not be ready for negotiation. So I want to bring this talk now to the attention of our people then. For all the people then where they don't rush for go chop cheese for Switzerland and say they don't get an understanding with Paul Biya, say they want to negotiate. How market? How market? How market for negotiations? How market will na negotiation with Paul Biya? Now 2 years this. We will start for singer. Now 2 years this. How market? We don't tell you. First, you must understand the psychology of your enemy. Once you understand the psychology of your enemy, then you go know how to carry out yourself and design your strategies. Dictators, they need things like that. If Paul Biya no get a way, there is no other way. Go read the history of how Saddam Hussein, American get chance. If you get chance to negotiate with the Americans, what will happen? But stubborn head, we didn't. If it not be their way, there is no other way. If the Ambazonian people not accept Paul Biya a forced special status and decentralization, there is no other way. So that's why now everyone can use propaganda and fear tactics for force the people them for accept his special status. The one can use propaganda and fear tactics for force the people them for accept special status. For force the people them for accept decentralization. Not be this generation. Never again will the Ambazonian people, they will be dictated on, which will be good for them. Never again say what people, any institution, whether not the international community or a foreign power, it go govern Ambazonia and tell them what will be good for them. The military never work since 2016. Amoka, they no work. Tanks, they no work. Tanks, they no work. The Ambazonian people, the only thing where they ask for, na justice for who they be. Justice for which they be as a people, where they be a mandated territory. They be get self-governance before they annex them, before they occupy them, and before they colonize them, before they neo-colonize them. They ask for freedom. They ask for their independence. They not ask for anything in the name of special status. May Paul Biya take and chook and back for your own she-hole. May Paul Biya take a decentralization. I beg mommy and papa then when I excuse my French. That one are just French. It chook and back for your anus. That one a special status. Na chop for pigs. Chop for pigs them. Decentralization na chop for pigs them. Not be for human beings. Not be for Ambazonia. So may be very clear for Paul Biya. Paul Biya, the more he send tanks or trucks to Ambazonia or Amoka for Ambazonia, the more Cameroon become bankrupt. Number one, they don't get the money. So everything that they do and they go borrow this money. Number two, the money that they go borrow them, because now they go for borrow the money for very high interest rate. It go take the citizens of Cameroon more than the next 100 years for them for pay all the money we Paul Biya don't borrow them over the last 5 years. And even for that next 100 years, they know if you pay the money. And they borrow that money, not enough for the Ambazonia people, no delay. Now the citizens of Cameroon, they will pay them. Because in the next few years, Paul Biya will die. And so for the citizens of La République du Cameroon, for them to live and Paul Biya begin to bankrupt their future, mortgage their future, for a man where a moron where they can't die. We call on the citizens of La République du Cameroon for rise up and take back their country. Rise up and kick this moron out of that place. When I rise up, when I protect our own futures. When I rise up. Back to Ambazonia. Now, what did this one mean for the Ambazonia people? What did this rolling of tanks into Ambazonia, what did it mean for the Ambazonian people? The leader for a war of independence, it always gets sense. It always know how Paul Biya they think in advance. It always know how Cameroon they think in advance. Dr. Ibabidon came back 2 months ago. He can't tell we. Say the place where the war day and the place where the war they go. Now the time when this will get for move for heavy machines. He tell we say we'll get for move now for heavy machinery. Tell we this 2 months ago. So how he be managed no? Say Paul Biya go to change tactics. How Dr. Ibabi managed no? 2 months ago. Say nothing this. Say these people, they go to move now, they go to change gear. Because those explosives, they be the user. They be don't almost finish the La République du Cameroon, their colonial ammo car them for Ambazonia, ammo trucks for Ambazonia. Those they ngongoro on them. It be don't almost finish them. So how Dr. Ababi predict these people their change in strategy, and he called the Ambazonian people them, advise the Ambazonian people them. Say na time this way for move to high caliber equipments. My prophet, the genius. What did this one mean for the Ambazonian people? And I say, a lot of our people then don't be brainwashed. Say small time, they will go negotiate. So may they stop for invest on the defense of homeland. Our people don't be brainwashed. They can't tell them about negotiations for 2019. So our people, they lower their standards. They just wait. Say, okay, they want to go negotiate with Paul Biya. Now a wake up call. Now a wake up call for every Ambazonian. We be the shilon the dream. We be manipulated. So when they just crash the ground small, Paul Biya will call them for negotiation. And then things will come back to normal. Woke up. Go study the psychology of a dictator. Dictator need think that way. If they not finish you for achieve their aim, they rather die than for bend for the will of America, or the Swedes, or the French. Paul Biya and Macron need come fine. He need listen for them. He not care. Because if you listen for them, he go lost a glory for the man where he don't stand to be a powerful man. And he must always get away. He get one choice now, we want pursue him. Total war until Ambazonia, they submit themselves. Total war until Ambazonia, they give up. Total war until the Ambazonian people them, they surrender. Now Paul Biya a mission that. We get bad news for you. The last 4 years, a total war, it don't lead now for everyday defeat on Cameroon. A total war, it don't lead now every day. The defeat, humiliation, disgrace, and embarrassment. Every single day. The first strategy failed. Second strategy failed. It bring armor car and armor trucks. That one failed. In fact, when I hear, before I go further, may when I hear from Paul Biya, his own right hand man, His own right hand man, where he don't make assessment for Paul Biya, where he don't make an assessment for Paul Biya a policy them, and wait he don't conclude them. The one that from Paul Biya a right hand man make a play on that video where the man said talk about Paul Biya a programs for Ambazonia. Now in this, when I hear, now Paul Biya a right hand man this, when I hear what he talk.
Dialogue because it failed to respect the principles of
But you
dialogue.
attended the major national dialogue.
Of course, that's why I'm able to tell you that it failed, and I was able to see that it was failing because while it was taking place, people were running away from reality and playing up to the gallery. So the damn thing failed. Of course, when I came out from there and I was saying that the thing had failed, they almost killed me. But today we are all agreed that the thing has failed. And if the president himself is saying that there's going to be a dialogue, it's a recognition of the fact that that major national dialogue failed. And you see, once we say that the major national dialogue has failed, and you know that one of the elements that contributed to that major national dialogue was also another failed organ called it's called what again? The
bilingualism and culturalism.
Voila. It's one big white empty hopeless elephant that went into the bedroom and crafted that thing, and with some other people who do not want to liberate Cameroon as such, they came up with the major national dialogue, and then I guess the president thought that these were genuine people and they were ready to solve the problem, but they were doing their thing as usual. Now, so the Bilingualism Commission is a failed thing. The major national dialogue is a failed thing.
Disarmament?
Well, no, don't mention disarmament. Let's mention the two. Those are the major structures. And you have disarmament, reconstruction, special status, decentralization.
Now it's accelerated.
Whatever, call it whatever, it's just politics and names. So you see, this crowd of things that were born out of the major national dialogue, watch my lips, have failed. Failed in the sense that they might have a 10% success, but when you're talking about success, you talk the major national dialogue, watch my lips, have failed. Failed in the sense that were born out of the major national dialogue, watch my lips, have failed. Failed in the sense that decentralization.
Now it's accelerated.
Whatever, call it whatever, it's just politics and names. So you see, this crowd of things that were born out of the major national dialogue, watch my lips, have failed. Failed in the sense that they might have a 10%.
Una see now why they roll tanks into Ambazonia? Una understand now why they roll those tanks into Ambazonia? They are cosmetic solutions. They don't fail. All because they no one commit to a credible negotiation. Where they know say Paul Biya know say the moment he commit to anything will be credible and it meet international standards and it will be supervised by the international community. Paul Biya know say the Ambazonian people be guaranteed. Forget freedom, forget justice, forget independence. Paul Biya know. Paul Biya know say Cameroon's presence for Ambazonia it be illegal. They know say na an illegal occupation. They know say their presence for Ambazonia na a presence because of their annexed Ambazonia. Paul Biya know. That's why they want to use the force. That's why when we already defeat them, they can't make this nyama say grand national dialogue. For impress the international community, may they move hand, may they not put too much pressure on Paul Biya for say they take steps. Ambazonian people, their resistance, it killed that nonsense. It destroyed that nonsense. We don't tell Paul Biya, not being at this generation of the Funchas and the Munas and the Joas this. Now a brave generation, now the intelligent generation, now the smart generation this. No person, no process, it go manipulate the Ambazonian people them for accept anything will be less than what our people don't rise up for ask for, which be rightfully their own. No manipulation, no amount of force, no amount of intimidation, no amount of propaganda. Propaganda no will ever give Paul Biya the victory we want them. Force, it no will give Paul Biya the victory we want them. Manipulation, it go instant make it go into deeper hole. will be ready for it. Ma call on the Ambazonian people. Now make una use these tanks where they don't drive them through Douala for impress their people on how powerful then they be. Now for woke up all we. For say the monster with Dr. Abadon 1 week. Say Pobia a monster. Cameroon a monster. Would they be ready for kill every single Ambazonia until they take that territory? Would they call on our people then? Would not rise up. Rise up for the defense of homeland. Make una not take this thing like play or movie. Make we buy the equipments. The big machine gun them. The big RPGs. Dr. Abatel with 2 months ago said we must move to heavy caliber machine guns. The big equipment them. He's a prophet. God bless you with it. In 1 week. Now it happened for our eye. No matter who you be, even if you take this thing lightly, take them serious. The blood-sucking monster dictator of La République du Cameroon, he wants some more blood. We're not going to forgive you that chance. Just as we mobilize the Ambazonia Defense Forces, Dr. Eba Helep, for create what they call and say, the Ambazonia Institute of Technology. And they start to produce these IEDs. They produce these bomb them. They produce these explosives as a solution for the ammo car. And we solve that solution. We solve that problem. The ADF, they develop these bomb them, develop these explosives and divide them for all the forces them for ground zero. We solve that problem. We solve that problem. Life don't give you another problem. For we for become free, we must face these challenges. We must face these challenges. Now a new one this. These tanks, it be easy for take them out. Once you get the right equipment. And the leader be already prophesy. It be already predict them. It start to mobilize. It start to tell we. Now the reality don't come for our front. We call on every single Ambazonia for double their efforts on the contribution for the stabilization plan. On the contribution for the strategy. For give the forces the power for take this thing out. And put them for video. Send them back for Pobia Enos. Put them for video. Send them back for them. We call on all mami them, all papa them, especially Ambazonians for diaspora. We not rally under the leadership we don't save this revolution. We not rally under the leadership we don't help we for maintain the resistance and the defiance for protect the Ambazonian people them. We not rally under a leadership we don't prove for every single Ambazonian beyond reasonable doubt. A capability, a intelligence, and a strategic orientation. The time for any Ambazonia, for the go around with petty criminals and petty scammers, that time don't pass. The game don't change. We need a focus as a people. The game don't change. To the forces on the ground. For the last 4 years, since March 2018, where the criminal cartel, they infiltrate our revolution. Because those people never even deserve for me for call their names anymore. The criminal cartel for Maryland, since they hijack Seseko IG, infiltrate the revolution, they don't cause the death of many generals, many commanders, many soldiers, They don't assassinate generals, commanders, and soldiers. They don't kill more than 680 Ambazonians where they be there under the county by county, local by local. They kill them. We know the destruction they don't cause them for our people them. The money where they raise them for liberate Ambazonia, the cartel, the shidon, they chop and all, so that Ambazonia will surrender for Pobia. The time don't come for every single commander and general on the ground for abandon these petty criminals. The more we now continue for toxic we they under them, the more the genocide on the Ambazonia people then they continue. The more the infighting with these petty criminals, these petty thieves, the infighting with the engineering and the propaganda for cause confusion for a revolution, for a liberation, so that Ambazonia will remain chaotic social environment for social media and for the media. So that we'll spend more time for argue and for debunk lies than for we for focus on Pobia. These gangs of criminals where they never ever train one general, one commander, or train or build a camp. But they take the glories of fighters on the ground for raise money for pay their rents because of laziness, for even do Uber. Even Uber, where a person fit do them and you fit take care of yourself and your family, they be lazy for doing. They rely now upon the liberation for make a living. All soldiers and commanders them, we abandon these people them. We stop for give them the legitimacy. We make them, I believe, say they be part of the liberation effort. We abandon them. So that we feel mobilize and unify our people them for face the danger where our people then face them on the ground. We feel unite and mobilize our people them for put our hands, our heads, our pocket, and our resources for one objective than for we for be divide our objectives them. Than for turn the war into a small movie for people their fame. Instead for follow a liberation roadmap for protect the people them, defend communities, and liberate the land. Commanders, generals, will abandon this gang of criminals. Petit papa, when I know you petit papa, they don't give Akwanga a new name. Akwanga a new name na petit papa. Petit papa will call for the end of Ghost Town and for the end of the war. We call for unilateral ceasefire. Say make Ambazonia they stop for fight. Petit papa Akwanga. Yes, petit papa. Now la Republic name petit papa. We don't sign on. Say go take the responsibility for stop the war on the ground. Petit papa. He don't talk say, he don't put them for Twitter. Say go be for Manfe in the next few days. Ambazonia suna here. Petit papa Akwanga. He put them for a Twitter. Any man we there for Twitter, go for Akwanga Twitter. You go see and we put them for there. Petit papa Akwanga talk say in the next few days he go be for Manfe. Now so petit papa Akwanga talk. They don't surrender. They don't surrender one after the other. Swiss cheese don't melt. I see self talking. When you go for Switzerland, the very first thing we ask him, not be now if the process be genuine. He talk say when Paul Biya be lucky and he win the case against Paul Biya, the case we win him. The human rights court, it be talk say make Paul Biya pay a Conga 30 million CFA. So when he go for Switzerland, the first thing we ask him, make the Swiss government, they make a make Paul Biya give 30 million first. Now the first thing that Conga ask him, the moment he enter Switzerland, he and Sakwan Cristiano will both have it. He don't care for check what the Swiss be all about. Now say, where Switzerland? If I say I don't come for you now, if I say oh we don't come meet up, well, since when I talk about this thing, say when I want help, make for bring we and Paul Biya together, make we see how if we talk, make peace come back for Cameroon, make peace return. But when I know say when I start this palaver for down there, Paul Biya be catch me, go lock him. When I know say I win the court against Paul Biya now. Now so Petit Papa talk him. He said when I win that case, they be award me 30 million. So before we want to talk anything, now make and say I get my 30 million first. So when I now understand. So when he tell when I say he go put them for a Twitter, say he go be for Manfred in the next few days. I hope now we understand why. We understand why. Well, Ambazonians, muna not forget. Na Petit Papa Kwanga. Now put the picture. Now give me a moment. Now put the picture for Obie. At least, even ground zero, they must see a face. They must see Petit Papa a face. Ambazonians, muna not forget. Na Petit Papa Kwanga. Now I tell the people for ground zero, may they woke up, may they rise up for pick up arms, for defend themselves and fight against Paul Biya. May we not forget. So if Petit Papa today, he don't go take the money where Paul Biya be OE and the small money where they give them, where Sweets promise them. If he don't go take it home and he don't surrender because now he call for unilateral ceasefire and now he call for the end of Ghost Town. So now if you understand now why Petit Papa want go for Manfred, for go start the campaign. For go start the campaign. Now in this, more put the face for outside, make all Ambazonia they see. They know who he be. The one they don't know his face. More put the friend for up there. I'll put it for down. Now in that. Now Petit Papa that. Now Petit Papa that. Now in that. Now you and the friend that. At least make all man see face. So we understand. At first, it tell what people they may rise up, defend themselves. They don't rise up, defend themselves, defend the land. So if Petit Papa don't come on now, when he don't finally take the money, we probably be OE, and he abandon the people then. Scatter ground zero. Take fighter, sell them for the Swiss HD. And now you want to go back for ground zero. For go enforce it, wait. For go preach why Ghost Town get for come to an end. For go tell the people on ground zero why they get for give up on independence. Why they get for give up their rights to be a free people. Now na Petit Papa want go preach the message of the occupier. Na Petit Papa who make me big small. Now in this. Now na Petit Papa want go preach. And he want go do the preaching now for Ground Zero. For go tell the people why they got for give up on Ghost Town. Why Ghost Town not fine for them? When he come for Canada, for October 2019, yes. When Akwanga, with Bo Herbert, with Sako and Elvis Kumeta, with the people of the HD. By the way, when I know say everything I talk now facts, because we publish the pictures of our side. As when I know say I go there, I will make live video, put them for one of our side. We record the whole event. I be the present. When we post those pictures, I take pictures with Sako, I take pictures with Elvis Kumeta, I take pictures with Bo Herbert, I take pictures with Akwanga. When they come for Canada, for Swiss HD, for can sell the agenda of the Swiss HD, because they start for worker from country meeting to country meeting. Make HD. It fool the Ambazonian people then, so that Ambazonia go accept that process. If in a genuine process, why they begin for the go from village meeting to meeting, and they get for the go from one Ambazonia community to another Ambazonia community, for tell the people that say a good process. And meet up Akwanga, meet up Bo, meet up Sako, but before that one, Sako be don't come here for 2018. I meet up he. I make an interview with he. I put them for outside for all now. I be tell now. We ask the HD one thing for that meeting. Cameroon don't commit for the process. The person for HD talks say no, Cameroon never commit. We ask and say, but why Cameroon never commit? Why when they come meet up na Ambazonian communities them? For tell them say a good process. How it go be a good process? And the person will declare war, he never agree for can negotiate, for talk say they like on a process and they agree for on a process and they think say they for come sign into the process. If they never sign into the process, why it be say the person will declare war, he never agree for negotiate? Now the victim of the war, when they come carry the tell you why you go for negotiate, why? They not be get an answer. Akwanga, I go still ask certain people the way they record that this thing because my own I be doing now for live stream and I put them for them a program where they call and say Southern Cameroon's leadership strategy where Paul Biya take them down. That's my page, that's my platform. Akwanga inside that meeting, he tell the Ambazonian people, he tell the Ambazonian community for Toronto, he tell them say we must negotiate because we not fit win this war. He say we must go negotiate so because we not fit win this war. That's what Akwanga talking. He say Akwanga tell it also will not get what he take him for win the war. How wrong it be? How wrong it be? When we not get what he take for win the war, but we don't scatter all Amoka, defeat la Republic of Cameroon, finish the economy. How wrong it be? Now we know their intentions. That's why Petit Papa want go na for Manfe, for start for Manfe, for go start for preach. Why Ghost Town get for come to an end? Why Ghost Town not fine for Ambazonians? For start for preach the gospel of the occupier. For start for preach the gospel of the defeated Cameroon. Because the game, as long as their program, their processes, they don't fail, they rather join the occupier and keep Ambazonia and them under occupation for their own selfish interest. So the people then for Manu, when I wait for Petit Papa, but well, we know say before he want enter for Manu, now the grandpa, not be Petit Papa before he want enter for Manu. Now grandpa Paul Biya must give permission when you go through Nigeria. Una know so. For you for enter for inside Manu, it means say Paul Biya don't give Akwanga visa and the gree may enter Manu. Una know so. If La République du Cameroon government in no agree make any of we enter Manu, how Akwanga go talk say one travel go Manu? The question that. Akwanga we talk say the fight Paul Biya, how he want be now and say one go back for the same country with the talk we talk say he be wanted, which he don't change. So we know say even if he come, now the colonial DO for Manu go welcome me. Now the colonial SDO go welcome me. Now the general for the B for Manu go welcome me. Now the general for army go welcome me. Now the general for gendarmes go welcome me. Maybe now the new armor car. The Paul Biya don't send me go welcome Akwanga. Eh? Maybe now the new armor car they will go welcome Akwanga. May I pass this message for our people for Manu. All the population of Manu, a traitor, a traitor. When a patriot, person who respect it, who trust it, who believe in it, when it turn its backs against the people they must turn their backs against it. If Akwanga don't change road for good to preach the peace of Cameroon and the end of the liberation, the end of ghost town, the end of active fighting, then it don't join the gangs, the colonial gangs. When a person it turn it back on the people they must turn their backs against the person. Petit Papa Akwanga don't turn it backs on the Ambazonian people them. And therefore, it don't betray the same people will tell them to rise up and for liberate themselves. For your own selfish interest. For a singular reason. The only thing with the drive Petit Papa now the bitterness. Akwanga no be a greedy person in terms of money. Akwanga no be person where he be a character, no be a person where be greedy for take money. First of all, Akwanga no be a person where he even get an expensive lifestyle. I mean, do I not be an insult to the man, but a character, you know, not be a person where he get an expensive lifestyle. Sorry, but that's the truth. So Akwanga lifestyle not be an expensive lifestyle. So you not be a person will be greedy for money. Akwanga not be get a corrupt character for one some kind money for because a person with lifestyle a basic lifestyle, man. Alright? If you see him from his style of dressing and all of that, if you make an assessment. Alright? But now a man will live a modest life. And it be mean well for the Ambazonian people then. It be truly mean well. The person will corrupt Akwanga. Nasako. But Akwanga is bitterness. And wait to make Akwanga don't join now na the beer side. And the petite gang of criminal side. Now just because as I already explained for now. Now just because Akwanga, Petit Papa Akwanga, it not be build an organization. And it not be bring together good Ambazonians them where they feel help may be the leader for lead the Ambazonian revolution. Now all that. Just Akwanga is vexation that. And the only thing that. So the failure to build a credible institution with intellectuals, with experts, with people that be dedicated, we get a big structure and we go give Akwanga the relevance we need them. Because Akwanga, the only thing where Akwanga want them. Akwanga, a primary human need Now the need for be relevance. Now the need for be in front. Since it not be fit for build that institution, we go make it be for in front. Since it not be build a good defense force on the ground, we go make it go be for in front. That failure, it make Akwanga become vulnerable. Because during that time, Sako be very popular. And Akwanga now join with Sako so that if he get that relevance, Sako turn now Akwanga, take Akwanga now, turn him for Mugu. And then he take Akwanga now, use Akwanga for do all the dirty business. And Akwanga now not fit come out inside. Akwanga now, he don't taste all the other things them. Now those other things them. Like they get involved for the Swiss, they put Akwanga now for front. They hold that Swiss process, now Akwanga be there for front. Not be even Sako. But now Sako go choke in hand inside. And then he drag Akwanga. Because Sako use Akwanga for secure that process. Akwanga use Sako for maintain irrelevance. So now a double game. But now Akwanga don't get so involved, we not fit come out again. Because the only thing that way in making her become relevant. For your own organization, the APLM. If I ask you now, who be their Secretary General? No man know it. Who be the Secretary General for Akwanga your organization? No Ambazonia, no one. So the entire organization, it don't become a one-man show. When I see the Sokadefu Bilan, it don't scatter them all. Now all those things that make Akwanga useless itself, it go for this chuki now way of it come out there now. So now that's why it define now another way for become relevance. All that thing where they call and say ceasefire. Now all the methods, the strategies where Akwanga define relevance for you for being in front. Even if the process they be destructive to Ambazonia. But they meet Akwanga a personal human needs for you for maintain relevance. Now those things that they drive Petit Papa. Alright? Once you get this basic understanding, then you get to know why Akwanga don't betray the Ambazonian people then. You get to know what it cause a betrayal. If you assess him and you come to that conclusion, Akwanga not be a bad man. But the way he carry himself, he make it, he not build a structure, he not build an institution where go make Akwanga go become a credible Ambazonian leader. And it lead, now those things that lead to the downfall of Akwanga. The primary reason why Akwanga fall from grace to disgrace, from royalty to the side of the road, from person who Ambazonia they be respect and honor ye, to a person now where even when they come for Facebook, even 60 people don't even listen for you anymore. Just because say Akwanga not allow himself for build a credible institution, we go give you the voice for be an effective leader. It make you become vulnerable to the thief man, small petty criminal Sako. So how a great man like this go live a petty criminal? It take you, turn you upside down. Well, sometimes this too much book self, it confuse people them. So, I give given all this background. Now make una know say they say, what people from Ambazonia, una must be so strong for defend una interest, for defend una aspirations, for defend una hopes. Even if any person will be stand for una, it betray una get for vomit that person out. Una must vomit any person who go against the people, their aspiration. Una must get the confidence for vomiting out. Any person who start for side with La Republic of Cameroon, we must get the confidence for vomiting out. Just like una vomit Nambere out. Just like una vomit Nick Santos. Just like una vomit Nsofoncha. Just like una vomit what be the other one in himself. Success in Congo. Una must get the stamina for vomit any person out. So too, una must get the stamina for vomit petit papa. Any person will turn the backs on una, on the hopes, the aspiration, and the dignity of the Ambazonian people them. The people they must turn their back against it. So too be the story of petit papa. You turn your backs against the people them. The people they must turn their backs against you. No man not be more important than the freedom of our people them, than the dignity of our people them. Any person will go take his small money for pobia, for their own personal benefits, and it's time for twist a tongue. Una must vomit it out and make sure say not represent una. Any person will turn change from Ambazonian freedom and independence, when they start to talk about peace, una immediately cover una ear and send them out. Ground zero, una be ready. Una be ready. Una be ready for waiting the camp. Una be ready for see this new level of traitors. They will go down as we be tell una. Because we tell una say that the plan for force another national for force another Cameroon National Dialogue and Reconciliation Conference. I don't tell una. All these people that they go down now for go start the campaign. The only reason that they tell una, we probably go give them pass. Now for go down, for go start for tell the people them why we go for dialogue and reconcile. And why they don't want them make the international community make it handle this matter. We don't understand the game. There will be more traitors. More they will take money for put them for their pocket, for their retirement plan, for sell the people their hopes. As Capo Daniel call them, the wicked black man syndrome. But this one not been an issue of the black man. Now an issue of human choices. Now an issue of human decisions. This one not get anything for do with wicked black man syndrome. Now a human condition and a pattern where a lot of people they get them when they get a poverty mentality. Wait till una the see now a poverty mentality when a person is there for a wealthy place like America or South Africa, and he not believe say they say if he build a successful life and create a successful destiny, so they go use the cheapest opportunity, whether not for kill person, sell people them. Now a poverty mentality, now a poverty-stricken mentality. When people they get talent, but they not fit take those talents for build wealth and create a good life, they look for cheap opportunities. And Ambazonia War of Independence, he offer plenty people them cheap opportunities for get blood money from the blood-sucking mother sucker of La République du Cameroon. What a pity. With all the wealth and abundance, people they prefer for sell their own people them for small chicken change. What is 30 million CFA? Akwanga. What is 30 million? Now a mere $60,000. Chai! For $60,000. Oh! Chineke. Eh! Osowo. For $60,000. Oh. $60,000. Anyways, Ambazonians. Now the story this for Petit Papa. Ground zero the wait una. So ground zero una be ready. Una be ready for them. Una be ready for them. Where they will not the treat traitors. No matter how the traitor be. A traitor is a traitor. A betrayer and a betrayer. Where they when I treat them. I don't talk my own. I go for you and for serve the people all our heart with all the honesty and truth. Probably I get the game for play. Now not for the Ambazonia people then. So at the time this for all Ambazonians, we get for focus. No matter the betrayal. It like make all the betrayal now. Ground zero go stand strong. Ambazonia go get that independence. And even Petit Papa, he go live for see Ambazonia become a free nation. But at the end, I don't tell you now. The evil that men do, live after them. The day we will not see Akwanga, I don't tell you now last time, we will go feel sorry for this man. The evil, what they don't do, he don't chop them finish. He don't finish them. The day when any person will see Akwanga face to face, you carry a hand, put them for head. You go feel so sorry. The evil that men do, live with them. Before I end, yesterday, Ambazonia Defense Forces Menchum for Menchum Brigade. They carry out an operation. They take out one La République Kelebe. They take out one La République du Cameroon army for Menchum. If you not see the video, you know go fit for chop the whole day. The video of that man is skin. If you put them outside, there's no way that video if you put them outside. They take one gun from that operation, from that man. But the video just be too graphic. See him I see him, I just talk say no, this kind of video not put them outside. There's no way. Just too graphic. So we salute the forces then for mention. For July the 3rd, next Saturday, after this Saturday, the next one, the Governing Council of Ambazonia, it go hold a fundraising campaign for the big equipment them for confront the new threats on the Ambazonian people them. Ambazonia, they face a new threat from these tanks. We must buy the equipments, the materials would be necessary for take out these tanks. When La République du Cameroon start to bring ammo car, we launch Operation Pops. We na phone them, and we reduce their penetration into our villages, our towns, and therefore we reduce the amount of massacre that they commit for Ambazonia. We reduce their killings for Ambazonia. Right? So too we must mobilize for confront the new level of threats on the Ambazonian people. We must mobilize. We must contribute massively for protect the sanctity of the lives of the Ambazonian people them, the dignity of our people them, and for protect our communities. We must make the necessary investments for the equipments where they will help we for take out these tanks. The new challenge, the new threat on our people them. But for every time along our journey of liberation, when we face an opportunity of this kind enormous proportion, where people don't always rise to the occasion. When our people they face the challenge of the pops, of the ammo cars, we rise up to the occasion we develop a higher level of interest for protect the lives of our people then. And therefore, we create a technology where it will be able to solve that problem. The new challenge this and a new problem this with this war don't bring them for we. We go confront the problem, we go face the problem, we go solve the problem. Now we will be this. We'll be people then where no matter the difficulties, no matter the challenges, we don't always rise. We don't always overcome. But this one we need to overcome. We go emerge victorious. We know say, number one, a propaganda, but number two, there is an element of threats on our people because we know who the dictator be. So, make all of we make up our minds once and for all, saying that the last phase this of this liberation, once we take out those their tanks, the end game don't come. I want to conclude by calling on all the defense forces, may they follow the footsteps of General Tenkobo. We call on all defense forces for the 13 states. Now the Republic of Cameroon bring tanks to Ambazonia. We now go after the soft targets. We now go after the colonial occupational administrators. The road tanks, we now intensify the war on the colonial occupational administrators. When they administer the genocide, they administer the occupation, they administer the annexation, and they administer the colonialism. Those ones, it not require much. So for all the 13 states, we now launch a massive war against the colonial occupational administrators, where they be in charge for implement probably genocide, occupation, and colonialism for Ambazonia. If they change the game, we too must change the game. All right? Now they talk this for today. Make all man stay fine. When I stay well, or when I get my phone number, when I get Capo Daniel a phone number, any man, when you get any intel, when I see those tanks, before I go. Also, we call on all Wamami them. This war not be not only for Ambazonian fighters. This war not also for Ambazonian Mami them. This one are also for Ambazonia Papa them. Any community where these tanks they enter for day, Mami they must come off our site naked. All Mami for village, all Mami for town, any place where Cameroon poor bia amoka, they enter inside for Ambazonia. Mami, all Mami they must gather together. They naked themselves, hold their hand, each other hand. Stand up for protect their village, protect their town, protect their quarter. Any place where these tanks they enter, Mami must demonstrate the courage of Mami for protecting them. Mami they must demonstrate the courage when Mami get them. No matter the danger, make one Mami the naked they move their clothes to where for corner, come out all the far side for naked. They hold their hand them. We go see. We must step up there so no one, even their tanks, they not get power over us. Papa and Big Papa, they wanna hear me fine. We must show una willingness. Say una want freedom. When they come, all Big Papa them, una come out, una hold hand for defend una village. And tell them, say they must go back. Say they not be welcome for Ambazonia. The war not been only the soldier that go fight them. Big Mami, they will fight the war. For China, when the communist government, it be done too much. Now, one Chinese person, people that come off outside, they want to go protest. The communist government for China, for the time, he sent army, he sent army, he sent army, he sent army. With plenty tanks. Now, one person, he just come out, it's time for front, for the line of the tanks that they come, for line. Thousands of tanks. It's time for up. It's time so with his foot for ground. It's time. And it changed the history of China. We got for change, we got for develop that level of courage as well. Other people don't do it. Don't become free. Will not be any exception. Any danger, we must develop the level of courage and bravery for confront the new threats on our people then. And the talk is for today. As always, I hope say with all my craziness, with all my passion, I hope say somehow, some way, don't touch on our hearts today, don't touch on our souls today. I talk say more we get this meaningful conversation. I talk say more we get this exchange, more we get this understanding, more we get this education, this inspiration. Our goal as always, now for make sure say we protect the integrity of our liberation. Our goal as always, and for give our people hope, empower our people then, and for strengthen our people then, and for build the confidence of our people then, and for make sure say we'll continue to be resilient and determined until our land be free. Shake no day. The Amoka, they not succeed. Tanks, they don't succeed. All right? Now stay fine. As always, we love you plenty. Now get a beautiful night. May God bless our man. Let me out. Hello? I'm done. Okay. All right. When I get a good night, any person you get a question, get a comment, when I feel forward and for me, I always be available for self now. All right. We love you plenty. Mwah.
Come